And siguro i-courier na nila. So,
Oh.
kasi magiging paunahan ulit yan.
Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Okay, caregiver pa rin tayo, no guys? Okay, huli na siguro to. Okay, for a while, hindi muna natin i-cover tong topic ng caregiver pathway. But for now, pag-uusapan muna natin, syempre, paano yung mga hindi naging successful? Okay, siguro yung nagsubok mag-apply dito sa kabubukas lang po na application period na saraduhan. How can they better prepare? How can they, increase the chances na maging successful sila sa kanilang next attempt, which will happen, I believe, in 2026 pa, no? Ayan. Kahit matagal pa, Miss G, isang taon pa from now, I think okay na rin kahit pag-uusapan na natin ngayon, no, yung pwedeng magawa ng mga nagbabalak mag-apply next year, no?
Yes, yes,
Oo.
tama. At saka Miss Ina, no, marami hindi nila napapansin. Merong isang, ways to apply na open pa yung paper application.
Oo nga eh. Mamaya, sige, we'll talk about that first.
Yes.
By the way, welcome again, Miss Geraldine Vallarayil of GHV Immigration.
Yes.
Ay nako, alam ko sobrang busy ni Miss G. Guys, nasa Pilipinas pa yan. Umuwi siya dahil nandun po yung kanyang maraming staff who helped her sa kanilang numerous applications sa caregivers. How was your experience, Miss G?
Yeah. So that's why I reached out to you, Miss Ina. No, sabi ko, sige, ngayon, this is the time kasi medyo hyper pa ako. Dahil dun sa ginawang submission.
Oo.
Really, it was a journey, I would say. Yun nga, umuwi ako ng Pilipinas. Why? Kasi if you remember, there was yung Alberta PNP, no, or yung AAIP. I had a bad experience with that. So, parang ganito rin ang nangyari with a caregiver. We have a lots of applicants and then naging paunahan din sa Alberta. And I ended up not submitting any application that time. So, sabi ko, although may tao rin naman ako at that time, 1:1 ang ginawa namin sa submission. But still, I was like, oh, hindi dapat mangyari itong ganito. Kaya medyo meron akong laban, no, o paghahanda talaga. For this one. So I thought of like, okay, uwi ako ng Pilipinas. Kasi ramdam ko na I do have the right skills ng tao dito, no? They have the drive na yun nga, na ma-submit talaga namin yung mga application. So dumating ako ng Wednesday, 26. But prior to that, hinahanda ko na yung mga tao and of course kung ilan ang kakailanganin na namin plus mga computers, no, internet. And then Wednesday, bumalik ako madaling araw, but then the same day, nag-work na ako noon hanggang gabi. So, from then on, wala nang day off yung mga tao. And we ended up, kahapon nga lang, hanggang madaling araw, 2 a.m., nandito kami sa office. So, nag-camp talaga kami.
But the good news is, mukhang sulit naman ang iyong pag-uwi at pag-train sa kanila over the past several days. Because, guys, lahat po ng applications na tinanggap ni Miss G ay na-lodge nila. Oh my God. Congratulations.
Yes,
That's a big feat, considering reports of many people struggling to lodge their own applications because of, technical issues sa portal. Did you experience the same, Miss G?
Oh yes, oo. So siguro it was at 10 a.m. no. So sabi ko okay, dinner tayo ng medyo maaga. So 6 p.m. lumabas na kami, kumain, and then by 8 nagbalikan na kami, then practice na sila. We practiced. No, paano ang expect natin sa portal. I know it was still closed, but we did some dummy PR application. So para alam ng lahat paano talaga ang i-expect nila when they see the portal. So it was okay. It was very smooth. And then probably 5 minutes before 10, oh my God, dyan na yung naglalag ang system. We were like, okay, is it about our internet ba or what? Pero at the same time, naka-monitor din ako din sa ibang mga consultants, no? And we were sharing kung ano yung na-experience namin. I was like, okay, it's not our internet, it is the portal that is experiencing problem. So, iyon, then
Oo.
nakapasok talaga, no? Nakapasok kami. Kasi sabi ko, again, basing on my experience with Alberta PNP, kasi sa Alberta PNP, hindi ka basta makakapasok. No, andun ka lang, mag-iintay ka sa queue. Pero sa caregiver, we were able na makapasok lahat, pero naglalag. No,
Oo.
hindi talaga, oo, parang, my God, 5 minutes, ano talaga, hindi talaga nagalaw. Pero umiikot ako sa mga tao ko. Sabi ko, okay, don't lose hope. Kasi meron nagpapanik.
Mm-mm.
Kasi they took responsibility of each of their application. No, talagang ginawa, pinakilala ko talaga sila sa yung hawak nila na application para magkaroon sila ng ano, parang bond ba, and they
Oo.
will take ownership ng application. So syempre, end of the day, ayaw nila na ibalita nila sa tao nila o yung sa hawak nilang application na sorry, hindi namin naipasa. So they built that relation with the applicant. Yun nga, ang tagal. Then sabi ko, okay, ano lang kayo, cool down lang kayo, intay tayo, no? Tiyaga lang. My God, siguro more than one hour, Miss Ina, lahat yun ganon. Refresh ng refresh ng.
Refresh ng refresh, ano? I can just imagine.
Pero yung on my end, meron ako isang computer na parang ako yung pinaka-main contact nila na because we don't know, pwede ba tayo mag-refresh ng button? Babalik ba tayo sa portal if we do the refreshing of the portal? So from my end, sabi ko, okay, pwedeng i-refresh, bumabalik. So lahat sila i-refresh nila yung ano nila. And then after nun, wala pa rin. Sabi ko, okay, kung mag-log off kaya ako or magbago ako ng browser, will I able to get back into the portal? So ako yung nag-check from my end. Ako yung walang hawak na application. So trial and error from my end. Pag okay sa end ko, then I will tell them, okay, that is the strategy. Do it.
Oh,
So,
I
pero
see.
hindi pa din nagtapos yung laban. So, siguro mga more than 1 hour and a half, hindi na nag-give up. No? And then, biglang nag-okay. No, sabi ko, okay, bumibilis yung ano natin,
Oo.
yung portal, okay. Then nagdire-diretso sila. But I told them, pabilisan naman. Nakapasok kayo sa portal, you are able to type everything, dapat naman bilisan nyo. Because it's not guarantee na nakapasok tayo, makakapasok tayo sa quota.
Kailangan
Pabilisan
pabilisin naman ang
naman.
upload ng mga documents, mga gano'n naman.
Yes. Pabilisan naman. Sabi ko, wag kayong makumpiyansa na nakapasok tayo. Ngayon naman, bilis. Speed ang kailangan natin. And that's it. My God, talagang pagka-submit namin lahat, nag-akapan talaga kami. And we were like so happy.
Alam mo, grabe, no? You're the second consultant I've spoken to, no? I just had an episode with Sir Alan Basa na parang ang pag-describe niya na parang nag-prepare sila for gera, parang gano'n, ano, yung pakiramdam niya. And I sense from your kwento yung emotions niyo, I'm sure. During those few hours were very high. And yeah, congratulations! What a relief na lahat na ipasok. For those curious, Miss G and her team submitted more than 10 applications also, no? But can you tell us, Ms. G, yung biggest learnings mo with this round of applications? Para at least, kung may nanonood sa atin na hindi naging successful at mag-a-attempt sa March 2026, they can, improve their chances.
Oo. So it's very important talaga na prepare your documents in advance. So yung checklist na binigay ng IRCC, probably if you're first time submitting your own application, so medyo malilito-lito ka. But if you were doing DIY even in the past, so madali ka makaka-relate dun sa checklist. So make sure complete yun. No? And of course, yung eligibility nyo, i-check nyo talaga. From my end, napakarami kong aplikante na even on the last 2 days, na-reject pa sila. I mean, hindi na natin sila isinabit yung application na for the reason of, meron na reason na ayaw mag-sign ng employer doon sa employer form.
Naku.
No? Meron naman din na hindi sila makapag-submit ng documents nila proving the 6 months eligibility. So, yung dalawang kasong yun ang medyo sabi ko, okay, I don't want to take a chance because sayang yung ibabayad na processing fee, diba,
Oo.
sa IRCC. They can, ang may i-refund na kasi is yung right of permanent residence fee. Pero yung processing fee na binayad sa IRCC, hindi nila ma-refund yun. Plus, of course, another biometrics. So, medyo malaking pera rin yun. So, sabi ko, okay, hindi natin isasabit ngayon ang documents nyo. Be prepared for the next year.
Oo.
Hindi.
So may
But
ganun, may ganun pala, Miss Gino. Kumbaga siguro some applicants are very much eager to lodge their application and yet hanggang huling araw hindi pa pala kompleto yung documents. Buti na lang, there are some consultants guys wag kayo, pumili kayo na mabuti. Yung iba siguro tatanggapin pa rin yun because that would be income for them. But Miss G is not like that. Kung alam niyang kulang to, ba't niya pa kayo isasubmit? Sayang lang ang inyong ibabayad, no? Oo nga.
yes.
But Miss G, so DIY is still doable. It's doable. Ano ba? Oo.
I would say it is challenging. One of my staff said, Miss G, kaya pala yung bayad sa consultant is ganon because they have experience paano ko binusisi talaga yung mga documents and eligibility. No, meron silang, oh my God, pag pala ganito, pag nagpasa sila, siguradong maraming ma-refuse kasi hindi nila nakikita yung possible butas sa application. I'm not saying it is not doable. Of course, it is not mandatory to hire an immigration consultant sa application nyo. No, but remember, ang pagbabayad sa isang consultant, treat it as an investment para sa future nyo. Remember, if you're a temporary foreign worker, so limited ang number nyo na makapag-stay legally sa country.
Oo.
Each and every day is important. So ito na yung chance na makapag-apply kayo ng PR. So it's really an investment. And minsan nga nahihiya ako pag tinatanong ako diretso, ay Miss G, magkano bang ang feed mo? Nahihiya ako na medyo na. Pero sabi ko nga, malaki rin ang investment ng isang consultant. No? It's not about studying. It's not about getting her license. It's a matter of bondable kasi kami no? I mean, any errors na magawa namin, no? Sagot namin yan. No? So those are some of the hidden charges na hindi alam ng mga aplikante. And of course, yung pag-uwi ko sa Pilipinas, I didn't look at the finance side, yung expenses. Oo, medyo mahal din.
Plus yung hinire mo na staff, syempre, ganun
Yes.
yung training. Oo.
1:1 ang namin. And plus, of course, yung mga computers.
Oo.
Diba? Yun pa pala, ang isa sa mga next na magsasabit, no? Kailangan i-check nyo talaga yung mga computers nyo. We had to test each and every unit, computer, laptops. Ano ba yan? Mabagal ba tumakbo yan? Yung computers mo, pag mabagal yan, okay, hindi natin gagamitin yan. Or let us say, we'll call an IT, pa-check natin yan, paano bibilis yung computer. And then of course, the internet, kailangan talaga na ma-make sure na mabilis talaga. We even had to call yung aming internet provider.
Oh.
Yes,
Ano yun? Meron ba kayong IT na naka-standby pa dyan, Miss G?
At this time, no, I need kasi hindi siya kasing dami nung in-expect ko in the beginning. Oo. So what I did, at saka meron kami staff na medyo magaling sa sa computer. But we had to call the IT provider, the internet provider, to make sure na walang scheduled maintenance o mga possible problems. So wala naman. Sabi ko,
What happens now? Let's say kasi napuno na yung slots, right? I think it's more than 2,700. Now, I'm
Yes.
sure not everybody, meron hindi eligible it would turn out to be. So, paano yun? Will IRCC open up new slots and then, ano yun, yung mga aspirants, dapat ba everyday mag-check sila na parang baka kasi may ma-declare na hindi pala eligible and then there's gonna be a free slot. May ganun ba?
Historically, it never happened. No,
Oh.
pag napuno yung slot, that's it. And then i-open lang nila yan the following year.
I see.
So everyone na nakapagsubmit ng application, they must have received an email confirming na nasubmit ang application. No, pag hindi kayo naka-receive ng email na yan, ako, i-double check nyo, na-click nyo ba talaga yung submit button.
I see.
Oo.
Oo, sige.
So,
Tapos, Miss G, yung nabanggit mo kanina, ito, papakita ko ha. If you guys kasi go to the page ng Home Care Worker Immigration Pilots, ito, yung nasa right side, open pa yung tinatawag na alternate format. Ano ba yun? Who are eligible to apply sa alternate format at gaano karami po ba ang pwede dyan?
oo. So nakalagay dyan, naku, wala palang nakalagay na number ngayon. If I'm not mistaken, as far as I remember, I think it was like 200 something or 100 something lang. Oo,
So,
yun
sino lang po
tinatawag-
yung pwede dyan?
So yun yung paper application. No? So dun sa mga hindi nakapagpasa ng application online, so that is another option na makapagpasa sila.
Oh,
Definitely
but,
maraming hindi napansin yan.
is it just for anybody who can just apply via paper or meron pa ring eligibility? Kasi ang parang somebody told me, hindi ko naman po na-verify sa canada.ca paano, na parang ang alternate format is only for those who will prove that they are unable to do the online application for whatever reason. Parang may ganun pong angulo.
Oo, meron ganun nga. But in this case, di ba, kasi they really tried their best to apply online pero nag-fail. So I would suggest apply sila through the paper application. And siguro i-courier na nila. Something like the documents will reach IRCC on the same day. No? So, kasi magiging paunahan ulit yan. So yung parang, yung trackable. No, i-courier nila, trackable, makikita nila kailan na-receive ng IRCC ang application. I would also suggest mag-send sila ng web form, no, with the tracking number and para lang to inform IRCC. They have to do, all ways possible.
Ibig mo sabihin, Ms. G, they can cite difficulties in accessing the online portal last March 31st in applying through the alternate format. Pwede ba yun?
Yes, I would say yes. Yes, they can try that. There is no guarantee, of course, na makakarating sa IRCC yan or mapapasama sa quota, no, or whatever yung conditions na binigay ng IRCC. But I believe yung challenges ng mga aplikante na hindi nakapag-apply online because of so and so reason, it was definitely from the IRCC's end, no, yung shortcomings doon. Then they can try submitting the application. Meron nga ako mga aplikante hanggang ngayon nagtatanong through that channel. Okay, yeah, Ms. Ina, you know, even on the last 2 days ng submission, ang dami pa nagre-reach out na kung pwede daw isama sa...
Yan na nga sinasabi natin. Dapat talaga mag-decide kayo ng maaga, di ba?
Yes. Oo, hindi kaya. It's not as easy as isasubmit mo ang application sa amin and that's it. Hindi kami admin. No, we really do some strategic planning sa pagsasubmit ng application. Thorough checking talaga ang ginagawa.
And I think I must warn our viewers, no? Kung meron tumanggap sa inyo ng last minute, magduda kayo. Sa totoo lang, magduda kayo kung may tumanggap sa inyo ng last minute. Except perhaps when they say na, biglang may open slot sila because, may suddenly nag-back out. Pero there might be some consultants nga kasi natanggap lang ng tanggap. Kukubra ng pera ninyo, alam naman nila hindi nila kaya. Get to know your consultants well. But anyway, okay, no, yung alternate format, Ms. G, if they do the paper application, may bayad na ba agad yun? Kasi baka sabihin nila, ba't ako mag-a-apply ng paper? Baka maglabas na ako ng malaking pera agad, hindi naman sure.
Oo. Even on the online application, kailangan mo talaga magbayad na ng government fees. No? So, kung nagbayad ka ng government fees, it will generate payment receipt. So, yung receipt na yun ang kasama mong i-upload. So, the same goes with the paper application. Magbabayad ka talaga and then include the receipt dun sa submission.
Okay, kung hindi naman matanggap pala, Ms. G, hindi na mababalik yun? It's non-refundable?
If it is something like hindi sila napasama sa quota, no, maibabalik lahat ang binayad nila.
Oh, alright. Okay.
Oo. But if it is something to do with na-assess yung application nila and then found ineligible, hindi nila ma-refund yung PR application fee and yung biometrics fee. Ang ma-refund lang nila is yung right of permanent resident fee.
Okay, okay. At
Oh.
least that's it. Oh, guys, i-assess nyo na lang kung willing kayong itry yan. But I guess make your decision ASAP. Because syempre, guys, hindi lang Pilipinas po ang nag-a-apply sa home caregiver. Pilots buong, alam mo, ang dami pong bansa na kanya-kanyang mga caregivers ang gustong gumamit ng pathway na yan.
Mm.
Oo, Miss G, ano pa? Baka may iba pa kayong learnings na hindi mo pa na-share with us
Oo.
moving forward. Oo, no?
Siguro ano na lang, napakarami nating aplikante na sabihin natin na consultations. We did a lot of consultations, no? And ginawa naman natin ang lahat to matulungan sila, mag-guide sila sa application nila. But believe me, it is worth investing for an immigration consultant. Hindi lang basta immigration consultant. Check their experience sa pag-handle ng mga application. So sila ba yung mga consultant na kahit pagkabayad mo, sumasagot talaga sila, no? Proactive in responding. And nga pala, pag, like for example, taking my services personally, no, or I'm sure kahit ibang consultant, the relationship doesn't end into, okay, nasabit na ang application. Hindi pa tapos ang responsibilities ng consultant doon. No? Siyempre, ano pa yan? Hanggang makuha natin ang approval or decision ng IRCC, kailangan andun pa rin yung guidance ng consultant.
Yeah, oo. During the waiting period, no?
Kaya it takes years dun sa representation ng consultant. Oo. So, sabihin ko na talaga mag-invest kayo. It's like investing for your future, hiring an immigration consultant. But yun nga, piliin nyo, no, proactive ba? And then may maganda bang reputasyon ang inyong consultant? Yeah, I know. Ako kasi hindi ako masyadong social media. Medyo mahina.
Dito ka lang sa akin nagpapa-interview sa totoo lang, Miss
Miss Ina, I really chose you now personally kasi medyo maingat talaga ako sa mga agents. Hindi ako basta tumatanggap kasi marami talaga na misuse yung names mo. Diba? And then using you for their own benefit, nangunguha sila ng pera sa tao. But for you, parang panatagan loob ko.
Thank you, Miss G.
Yes.
Basta yun, guys, ano. But again, wala pong sapilitan yan ang pagkuha ng immigration consultant. The government of Canada does not even require you to have one. Siguro, Miss G, yung mock application na ginawa ninyo, if they really want to do that DIY, maybe they can do that. Yung mock.
Oh, yes. Oo. Kasi ginawa ko, sabi ko dun sa aking mga ladies, sabi ko, ano tayo, meron na kaming GCQ, of course, but far ahead of time. So, ginawa namin, pili kayo, okay, siguro the closest, the RCIP ang pinili namin. No? A type of PR application. So, sabi ko, okay, whatever you see there, 80%, 90%, it will be the same sa caregiver program. Meron lang mga madadagdag dyan sa forms and of course, a little bit of questions related to caregiver. So that's what we did. Tinatime talaga nila. Okay, itatime nila yung mock nila. Yung una, 45 minutes. Oh, it took 45 minutes. And then hanggang bumaba na lang sila ng 24 minutes na natapos sila ang application.
Grabe talaga yung training pala.
Oo, yes. So lahat sila. Meron ako staff nagpapanik, my God. Taga-ano ako.
I can imagine.
Even me in the beginning, sabi ko, oh my God, ano ba tong feeling na to? Para akong naduduwal na hindi ko maintindihan.
Well, anyway, again, at least, no, tapos na yon and you guys were successful. I don't know, Miss G, are you already accepting clients for next year? Baka oo na, no? I will flash your contact information as always. I guess, it's never too early to prepare, guys. If interesado
Yes.
kayo. Ito, yung kay Miss G's services. Oo. Ay, nako. Okay. Miss G, thank you so much for that update.
Thank
And
you.
enjoy I don't know how long ka pa dyan sa Pilipinas. No?
Yes. And also, Miss Ina, just to add also, dahil nga sobrang nag-work ang mga tao hanggang kahapon ng madaling araw, sabi ko, sige, day off kayo, 2 araw tayo pumasok.
Diba? Oo. Ang office po ni Miss G sa Philippines ay nasa Cavite.
Yes,
Yeah. When
yes.
in Cavite, Miss G?
It's in Imus. Imus,
Imus.
Cavite. Yeah.
Alright. Sige, malay niyo, maabutan niya pa si Miss G kung gusto niyo mag-consult. Ano?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Please
thank you so
come.
much, Miss G. I will end this episode here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!
Thank you.